Welcome to Math with Mr. J. In this video, I'm going to go through a review of multiplication. This should be helpful for anyone looking for a quick refresher. I'll cover single-digit, double-digit, and triple-digit multiplication. Whether you're in middle or high school, college, continuing your education as an adult, really, no matter where you're at, multiplication shows up and is important all throughout math. Here are some examples to help you out. Let's start with single-digit multiplication and jump into number 1, where we have 439 times 7. Now, the first thing that we're going to do, we're going to line this up vertically. So we're going to rewrite it up and down. So let's go below the problem here, and we have 439 times 7. Now we can start multiplying, and we start with the ones place. So we have a 9 in the ones place. We need to do 7 times 9 to start with. 7 times 9 is 63. So let's write our 3 and then carry our 6. And then we work our way left. So next would be the tens place. So we have a 3 in the tens place. 7 times 3 is 21. And then we add that carried 6. So 21 plus 6 is 27. Let's put our 7 and carry the 2. And then we have the hundreds place. So a 4 is in the hundreds place. 7 times 4 is 28. Plus 2 is 30. So we can put our 0. Now there are no more places to the left. So let's just bring our 3 down into the thousands place. Put our comma, and our final answer is 3,073. Let's move on to number 2 and do another example. For number 2, we have 2,864 times 5. So let's rewrite this vertically. 2,864 times 5. Start with the ones, and then we will work our way left. So we have a 4 in the ones place. 5 times 4 is 20. Let's put our 0, carry the 2. Then we have the tens place where we have a 6. 5 times 6 is 30, plus the carried 2 is 32. Carry our 3. Then we have the hundreds where we have an 8. So 5 times 8 is 40, plus 3 is 43. Carry our 4. And then lastly, we have the thousands where we have a 2. So 5 times 2 is 10, plus that carried 4 is 14. So we'll put our 4, and then we do not have any more places to the left, so we just bring our 1 straight down. We have a comma here, and our final answer is 14,320. So that's how we multiply by 1 digit. Let's move on to multiplying by 2 digits. Here are our double-digit multiplication examples. Let's start with number 1, where we have 48 times 23. Now, the first thing that we need to do, we need to line this up vertically. So we're going to rewrite it up and down. Let's go below the problem here. And we have 48 times 23. So once we have that rewritten vertically, we need to multiply the top number by the ones digit of the bottom number. So the ones digit of the bottom number is the 3 in 23. So we need to do 3 times 8 and then 3 times 4. We can forget about the 2 and 23 right now. We're just worried about the ones place. So let's start with 3 times 8, which is 24. So we'll write our 4 and then carry the 2. Then we take that 3 and multiply it by the 4 in 48. So we're moving to the left to the tens place of that top number. So 3 times 4 is 12, plus the carried 2 is 14. So we can write our 4, and then the carried 1, well, there aren't any more places to the left, so we can just bring it straight down, and we end up with 144. So we are done with that 3 in the ones place. I'm going to cross it off. And we are done with that carried 2. I'm going to cross that off as well. That way we know we're done with that 3 and the carried 2, and we can move forward. So our next step, we're going to multiply the top number by the tens digit of the bottom number. So the 2 from 23. Now we do need a 0 since we are moving over to the tens place, and that 2 has a value of 20. So we need to make sure we write a 0 here. Again, because we're moving over to the tens place, and that 2 has a value of 20. Once we have that 0, we can do 2 times 8, and then 2 times 4. 2 times 8 is 16, so we write our 6, and then carry our 1. Now we can do 2 times 4, plus that carried 1. 2 times 4 is 8, plus the carried 1 is 9. So we end up with 144 and 960 there. Once we get to this point, we add. So let's add these two numbers together, and those are called partial products. They're part of our final product. Now we're ready to add, and we're going to start with the ones place. So we have 4 plus 0, that's 4. Then we move to the tens place. We have 4 plus 6, which is 10. So we can write our 0, and then carry our 1. And then for the hundreds place, we have 1 plus 1 plus 9. So 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 9 is 11. So we can put our 1 here. And then we carry a 1 over to the thousands place, and it's all by itself, so we can bring it straight down. And we end up with 1,104. And that's our final answer. Now, one more thing I do want to mention before moving on, and this is going to help us understand what we're doing within this problem. So we started by multiplying the top number by the ones digit of the bottom number. So we did 3 times 48 there. 3 times 48. And that equals 144, which we have right here. Then we move over to the tens digit and multiply that by 48. And that tens digit is a 2, but it has a value of 20 because it's in the tens place. So we did 20 times 48 as well. And that equals 960, which is right here. And then we add those together to get the final product. Let's move on to number 2, where we have 849 times 75. Remember, the first thing that we need to do, we need to line this up vertically, so up and down. We have 849 times 75. Let's start with the ones place of that bottom number and multiply it by the top number. So we'll start with 5 times 9, which is 45. Let's put our 5, carry the 4. Then we have 5 times 4. We're moving over to the tens place now in that top number. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 4 is 24. Carry the 2. And then we end with the hundreds place of the top number. So let's take our ones place from the bottom number, that 5, times the hundreds place of the top number. 5 times 8 is 40, plus that 2 is 42. So we'll put our 2 and then no more places to the left, so we can just bring that 4 straight down. So we are done with the ones place now. We did 5 times 849, and we got 4,245. I can put a comma in here. We're done with this 5, and then this carried 4, and this carried 2. So now we're going to move over to the tens place of that bottom number and multiply that by the top number. So we have a 7 in the tens place. Now again, we're in the tens place here, so that has a value of 70. So we need our 0. Now we can multiply. We'll start with 7 times 9, which is 63. Carry that 6. 7 times 4 is 28, plus 6 is 34. Put our 4, carry the 3. And now we have 7 times 8, which is 56, plus that 3 is 59. So we put our 9, and then our carried 5. We don't have any more places to the left, so we can bring that straight down. Put our comma, and now we're ready to add. So to recap, 5 times 849 is 4,245, and then 70 times 849 is 59,430. At this point, we are ready to add our partial products to get our final product, which is the answer to a multiplication problem. Let's start with the ones place and work our way left. So 5 plus 0 is 5. 4 plus 3 is 7. 2 plus 4 is 6. 4 plus 9 is 13. So a 3 there, and then carry the 1. And then 1 plus 5 is 6. Put our comma in, and our final answer is 63,675. There's how to multiply by a 2-digit number. Lastly, let's move on to multiplying by a 3-digit number. Here are our triple-digit multiplication examples. Let's start with number 1, where we have 325 times 281. Now, the first thing that we're going to do, we're going to line this up vertically. So we're going to rewrite it up and down. 325 times 281. Now we're ready to go through our multiplication process. So we start by multiplying the top number by the ones digit of the bottom number. So the ones digit of the bottom number is the 1 in 281. So we need to take that 1 to the 5, the 2, and the 3. We can forget about the 2 and the 8 in 281 right now. We're only concerned about the ones digit. We'll get to those other digits later. So we'll start with 1 times 5, which is 5. Then we have 1 times 2, which is 2. And then 1 times 3, which is 3. So now we're done with the ones digit of our bottom number. So I'm going to cross it off. I'm going to cross things off as we finish up with them. That way we avoid confusion moving forward through our process. Now we move to the tens digit, where we have an 8. Now the value of that 8 is 80. We're moving over one place to the left to the tens digit. So we need a 0 right here as we start with our tens digit. Now we can multiply. So 8 times 5 is 40. So we have another 0 here and carry the 4. Then we do 8 times 2, which is 16, plus 4 is 20. So another 0 and carry the 2. And then we have 8 times 3, which is 24, plus the carried 2 is 26. So we'll write our 6, and there aren't any more places to the left to multiply by, so we can bring that 2 straight down here, and we have 26,000. I'll put our comma in, and we're done with this 8, and we're done with the 4 and 2 that we carried. So I'm crossing all that off. That way we know we are done with it. Now we move to the hundreds digit. We have a 2 there. That 2 has a value of 200. So we need 2 zeros once we move over to the hundreds place. Now we multiply. 2 times 5 is 10. So we'll put our 0, carry the 1. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. And then we have 2 times 3, which is 6. 65,000. So we can put our comma in. And once we get to this point, we add these numbers to get our final product or answer. We'll start with the ones place. 5 plus 0 is 5. 2 plus 0 is 2. 3 plus 0 is 3. 6 plus 5 is 11. So we'll put our 1 and then carry the other one. And then 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 6 is 9. We will put in our comma, and this is our final answer. 91,325. Now I do want to mention one more thing before moving on to number 2, and this is going to help our overall understanding of this process. Let's take a look at these 3 numbers right here. The 3 numbers we added together to get our final answer. Those are called partial products. They are part of the final product. The product is the answer to a multiplication problem. So again, the 3 numbers we added together are called partial products. They're part of that final product. Now 325, well, that came from the ones place where we had a 1. So we did 1 times the top number, which is 325. 1 times 325 equals 325. So that was our first partial product. Then we moved to the tens digit where we had an 8. The value of that 8 is 80. So we had 80 times our top number of 325. And that gave us an answer of 26,000. So that was our second partial product. And then lastly, we had a 2 in the hundreds place. That 2 has a value of 200. So we did 200 times 325. And that gave us 65,000. So that was our last partial product. And at that point, we add the partial products to get our final answer, which was 91,325. So something to keep in mind as you're going through the process. Let's move on to number 2, where we have 6,724 times 549. So let's line this up vertically and then go through our process. So we'll start with the ones, where we have a 9. So 9 times 4, 36, carry the 3. Then we have 9 times 2, which is 18, plus that 3 is 21. Then we have 9 times 7, which is 63, plus that 2 is 65. And then we have 9 times 6, which is 54, plus that carried 6, that gives us 60, so we can put our 0. There are no more places to the left to multiply by, so we can bring that 6 straight down. So we have 60,516. We can put our comma in, and then we are done with the ones, and then these carried numbers. Now we'll move to the tens place and multiply by that tens digit, which is a 4. So that 4 has a value of 40. We are moving over to the tens, so we need a 0 there. Then we do 4 times 4, which is 16. Carry the 1. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9. Then we have 4 times 7, which is 28. So we'll put our 8 and carry the 2. And then we have 4 times 6, which is 24, plus 2 is 26. No more places to the left, so we can bring that 2 straight down. Put our comma in, and we have 268,960. We're done with the 4. This carried 1, and then this carried 2. Lastly, we're moving over to the hundreds place where we have a 5. Now that 5 has a value of 500. So we need our 2 zeros there, again, because we're moving over to the hundreds place. And now we can multiply. Start with 5 times 4, which is 20. So we have another 0. Carry the 2. Then we have 5 times 2, which is 10, plus the carried 2. That gives us 12. Then we have 5 times 7, which is 35, plus the carried 1 is 36. Carry the 3, and then we have 5 times 6, which is 30, plus that carried 3 is 33. We will put a 3 here, and then the carried 3, there are no more places to the left, so we can bring it straight down. We can put a comma here, and then another comma here. And now we are ready to add. Start with the ones place, so 6 plus 0 plus 0 gives us 6. 1 plus 6 is 7. 5 plus 9 is 14. Carry the 1. 1 plus 0 is 1. Plus 8 is 9. Plus 2 is 11. Carry the 1. 1 plus 6 is 7. Plus 6 is 13. Plus 6 is 19. Carry the 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. Plus 3 is 6. And then we have a 3 in the millions place. We can put a comma here and a comma here. And this is our final answer, 3,691,476. So there you have it. There's a review of multiplication. I hope that helped. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, peace.